no numbers, there's no pictures, there's no videos, there's no gameplay. I don't like it.
Yo, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Hope you guys are doing well. Hope everyone's having a good day so far. Today, framers, we are back with another Palia lore reading. This time around, we're going to be finishing up the Temple of Roots lore. It's pretty lengthy. This is probably the most lore that they've ever put into a temple, which is wild to me. But we're going to get into the last of this. So, obviously, the stories have kind of been concluded. So, we kind of know the characters a lot more. So pretty much all the lore entries so far have been pretty, like, they've been pretty much all the same. Like, there's been no difference. This is the only different lore reading we're going to be doing. It doesn't go the same way because this is basically covering the Temple of the Roots side of the story, and this is covering Titus's story, the Gardener's story, etc. But, I just wanted to cover real quick the fact of the characters all have a place in this story. So I was thinking about this after I recorded the last one. So Galen is like, he's like the struggling employee. Like, he's the frustrated employee in this case. Like, he's the guy that works the hardest, but, like, doesn't get any credit. Like, he's almost like, he's frustrated. He doesn't know what's going on. He wants things to go right. He's almost like the peon of everyone around him. He's like the lesser known person, I guess. Maybe Hydroflow isn't as important, but it seems like Galen isn't such an important character in the story because he's so frustrated that he is going out to the countryside to visit family. You know? It's interesting. And then you got Hephaestus. Hephaestus is working for Asta and the king. Hephaestus is the one who shut down all the flow systems, or at least got the order to. And Anima is apparently the one who's been working on the Cosmos Protocol, or helping to work on it. So now we get to figure out where Titus fits into everything, or who he is. So we're gonna figure it out. We're gonna jump into this. I'm very excited to cover this last part of the story. Let's go ahead and do it, man. Let's dive in. So, getting into the experiment logs. So, I've obviously talked about the experiment logs and how I believe there's a bug and there's one missing from the game. I've completely just shut that down. We're going to read it through. The reason why this is coming so late is because I was waiting for that experiment log and nothing ever happened. So, I'm assuming it just doesn't exist. But regardless, let's get into experiment log number 1.a. And now this talks about a character named Vera Samaris. And I don't know who this is, but because this is the first time the character's been mentioned. So I want to just dive into this. Vera Samaris. I've made another incredible breakthrough. As such, I suppose it is time to begin recording my achievements for my inevitable memoir. After months of iteration and tuning, the mechanical arm I designed is finally finished. During today's test run, it assembled an entire Galder body. Now all that is left is to give the arm a body of its own. I can see it now. Another university hall named after me, this time Vera, inventor of the self-replicating Galder. Ha! So it seems like Vera designed Galders, or at least made it possible for Galders to be designed. Because it seems like Vera made a mechanical arm that literally can make an entire Galder. So that's interesting. Vera must work with Titus, I'm guessing, but I don't know. Let's move on to the next one. Experiment log number 1.b, part 1. Vera Samaris. This morning, I put the final touches on my magnum opus, the runes that would bring him to life. He is a curious thing, constantly asks me questions. He even asked me where humans came from. Of course, I will be teaching him everything I know so he may surpass the Galder I created before. Then I gave him this task, to create new Galder. He successfully assembled a fully posable torso in under 2 minutes, and we had a working robot nanny in 5. Interesting. Alright, part 2. Once he has proven himself, I will allow him to imbue them with a oneness like his own. Imagine a world where Galder create themselves. Humanity would never have to work again. Ain't that funny that they put that in there? Humanity would never have to work again. I think Singularity 6 is pairing Galder to AI. I might be wrong about that. I might be reaching, but it kind of seems like it. But the problem with Galder is they can only do one thing. Like, they have their one oneness. They can't have multiple. Yet, Einar has multiple onenesses. So, there's that. Moving on to experiment log number 1.c, Vera Samaris. My young Galder's progress is continuing smoothly. He seems to have truly taken his oneness to heart and has been attempting to understand the principles behind creation. He asked me how and what humans create. In a moment of sentimentality, I told him that sometimes people will write poetry. Thinking nothing of it, I continued working on my latest experiment when he presented me a poem written for me. Imagine that! His poem is certainly not perfect, but I think I will keep it inside my desk nonetheless. So I need to just add this in. Poem. But here's the thing. I think Vera Samaris is the creator of the Gardener. Creator of the Gardener. Because it's odd. I thought Titus made the Gardener, but that's not the case. It was Vera Samaris. But let's keep going. Experiment log number 1.d not found. Error singularity 6.exe. What a shame. Anyway, moving on. Experiment log number 1.e. This is the last of the experiment logs. I have been extended an offer I simply cannot refuse. I have taught my young Galder all I can, and am leaving him in charge of this factory. To my surprise, I feel a little regret abandoning him this way. Perhaps this is how a parent would feel leaving a child. But a human child would have the self-determination to follow me. At least I am leaving him with a name. Gardener. With the hope that something promising will grow out of my efforts. So yeah, Vera Samaris is the creator of the Gardener. So I don't know what role Titus actually plays in this story. It seems like he's another lesser character, but I don't know. I feel like he and Galen are like kind of the same in terms of they're just employees, but I don't know. But let's keep. It's weird. So. Extend an offer I simply cannot refuse. So I'm wondering if Vera Samaris went to work with Asta or the king. It's hard to say. Let's keep going. Confidential. Vera, I hope you will consider my offer and come work by my side. I am opening a new office in the administration to track and manage global flow usage, and I can't think of anyone more qualified than you. I promise I will make it worth your while, and you will finally receive the accolades you've always deserved. Besides, I need someone whom I can trust. Do you think Titus will be a suitable replacement to take care of this facility after you have left? Okay, so now it's clear as to what happened. So I was right about how Vera went to work with Asta, because it's to track and manage global flow usage. So Vera is probably in cahoots with Asta, Hephaestus. I don't know if I'd say Anima. I think Anima is kind of with Hephaestus. You can kind of tell where loyalties lie. Like, Galen and Titus are probably on the same page. Hephaestus, Anima, Asta, the king, and Vera, they're all in cahoots. Which is crazy. Like, Galen and Titus are left to their devices, basically. And Titus is clearly the one taking over the facility. Interesting. Okay. Let's keep going. That's interesting. Wow. Okay, so this is the poem that Vera mentioned that the Gardener wrote. A poem. V is for validation. E is for experimentation. Y is for iteration. R is for recursion. A is for authentication. Vera. So that's the poem that the Gardener wrote himself. And the Gardener, so if you guys don't know the story of Temple of Roots, I did record the gameplay of it, but basically the Gardener was trying to shut down Einar and rewrite his whole thing. Like, he was going to reset Einar for having too many onenesses, which was wild to know. But we gave the Gardener a purpose. That was kind of the end game of that quest line, was we need to give the Gardener his own oneness to understand what it's like to have a oneness. And that's what we did. I don't know, but because clearly the gardener was trying to find a oneness, and poetry was almost that oneness, but I don't think it was going to be. Let's keep going. So the gardener log. This is the only, I believe this is the only gardener log that there is. There's actually no other gardener log. This is it. But let's get into it. Gardener log number 1. Mother has told me she must leave, but not when she will return. I wonder where she has gone and what she is doing. I hope she is content. Before Mother left, she told me I can never make a Galder with the same oneness that I have. This means I will always be special. I will do the best job I can and make as many Galder as I can, so she will be proud of me when she comes back. So, I did ask this. I was wondering if the gardener was going to make more Galders, but I'm uncertain about that. But what's cool about this is the gardener is the only gardener. There will never be another gardener that can make other Galders. But now we know who Mother is. It's Vera Samaras. So now we know who Mother is. Admin 1 and 2 are unknown, but you could assume that the admins are either the king, Vera, Asta, Anima, Hephaestus. It's unclear. But I would assume Vera or Asta are the admins. But again, it's not clear. So now we know who Mother is. Mother is Vera, because Gardener refers to Vera as Mother. So that's interesting. I just wonder what happened to the Gardener after... I guess we'll find out, because we still have Titus's logs here. Yeah, so... Did I put these? Yeah, I did put these in order. Cool. So yeah, Titus's logs are a little weird. They don't have a specific order. He only made, I think, 3. But that's it. Titus's log number 3. New job! Whoopee! I was excited, but Vera's promotion has really annoyed the other overseers. You can't imagine the drama that's going on between them all. Hopefully, I can get through this and get promoted myself without anything eventful happening. The gardener seems to handle most of the day-to-day operations here anyway. So, Titus, obviously, he got the new position working at the Temple of Roots, working with the gardener. But it also annoyed the other overseers. So, Titus was actually not a part of his overseer station. He basically left Galen, Hephaestus, and Anima and went to go work on... for the gardener. So that's interesting. And Titus he's completely out of the loop on that part of the story. Like, he's not involved in the drama, but he did send a message to Hephaestus and Anima, I believe, and Galen, I think. I'm pretty sure he did, but yeah, he wasn't really a part of that. He went to go do his own thing. But anyway, let's keep going. Titus's log number 127, part 1. Vera came by today to assess us for the Cosmos Protocol. Great. Guessing she's got a bit of a chip on her shoulder about this place. She told me to wall off the garden entirely and put the puzzle in my office. She didn't even bother speaking with the gardener while she was here. I almost feel bad for him. Yeah, it's like Vera doesn't care for him anymore because she's moved on to working with Asta and managing Flo. Which is interesting. Like, it's almost like a parent that doesn't care for the kid. Interesting. But clearly Vera is managing that Cosmos Protocol that Anima is working on and Asta is working on. The whole thing. But yeah, so it's interesting. And then put the puzzle in his office, which was, I believe, his overseer station. I don't know, but there's that. Titus's log number 127, part 2. Whatever. At least whoever comes to activate the protocol won't have to deal with the fallout. I'll just have to. Again. P.S. If you're reading this way down the line, maybe stop back there and say hello to the gardener. He's a bit rigid, but he's an okay guy overall. So that's the end of the lore for Temple of the Roots. This is probably the most lore they put into the game, although I will say Temple of the Gales is still my favorite in terms of lore and just the overall temple was great during that time. But yeah, man, apparently we're also getting more temples, which I don't know how that's going to fit into the lore. I don't think it's going to work the way that Singularity 6 wants it to, because the way they've written it, only the 4 elements exist with temples. So I don't know how they're going to do that, but yeah, man, the lore is interesting. It's very crazy because there's also a bunch of unknown characters like Admin 1 and 2, the King. We already know who Mother is, but 3 unknown characters, and that kind of scares me a little bit. But regardless, I do hope the story gets elaborated on more because there's just so much lore, dude. There's a lot of lore, and I do like the lore of Palia, despite what's been going on with Singularity 6. I do think the lore is really good, and it could be great if they kept writing on it. But yeah, that's gonna be the video for today. But thank you guys for watching. If you did, as always, I appreciate it a ton. I will see you guys in the next video, and yeah, goodbye.